Should I sell or buy in the winter, or should I just wait till spring when it's warm? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Dewitt. I am a real estate agent in the Central Maryland area. First off, if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. New videos come out every single week, and I'm on a mission to turn this into the #1 Maryland real estate YouTube channel in the world, and I need your help to do it. Today, we're going to be talking about the age-old question, should I sell or buy in the winter? We always get this question every single year. People are wondering if the winter makes sense for them to sell or buy, or should they just wait until next year when the weather starts to warm up? And let's get it out the way. I know you all are wondering. Yes, I'm an Orioles fan. I know. I'm not going to talk about it. All right, let's just move on. Okay. Now, first, I want to go over some of the pros and the cons of buying and selling in the winter. You know, at this channel, we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, living here, chilling here, and being here. Right. So we're going to get into everything about real estate and some of just the personal reasons, or I guess less real estate related reasons of people may or may not buy and sell in the winter. We're going to start with selling, and we're going to start with the cons, right? I'm going to give you the bad stuff first. Now, we know when the weather gets cold, the holidays are coming up, right? We got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you got Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, and everything in between coming up. And we know those times are times that we want to spend with family and not worried about buying or selling a house. In this case, again, we're focusing on the selling, right? So some of the cons with selling, one, again, the holidays, right? You want to decorate your house. You want to have family over. You want to plan out your holidays without having to worry about showings and someone putting in an offer and closing, right? And that's completely understandable, right? It can be a lot when you're trying to navigate holiday festivities and sell your house. It can be a bit of work, right? Another con is there's not as many buyers, right? We know the weather is not as good, not as many people are out. And again, the holidays, buyers are doing the same thing you're doing. They're planning their holidays. They're decorating and planning their festivities. And are they going to see family, or is family coming to see them? Right? It's the same thing. It's the same world. So there's not as many buyers out, right? That's normally a time that we see the market slow down a lot, tremendously, right? The time of November, December, especially, things start to, come to a bit of a halt in the world of real estate. That's really the only two cons of selling your house. Now, those are some pretty big cons, right? It's more work and there's less buyers. It's sounding like there's no reason to ever sell during the winter. Let's get into some of the pros of why you might want to consider selling during the winter instead of waiting until the spring. First off, these are motivated buyers, right? Think about it. They're having the same struggles that you are, right? They're planning the festivities, planning their holidays. And these are people that need to move. They can't wait until next year, right? These aren't just your tire kickers that you get in the springtime. These are motivated buyers that are ready to close on a house. So then if they're going to see your house, the first thought that they're thinking is not, do I like it? And does it give me that warm and fuzzy feeling? It's, is this something I want to offer on? What will I offer on it? Right? Also, you got to think, there's less competition for you, meaning there's less homes out there. So they have less options. They're motivated. They can't wait until spring. They want to buy a house now. And all you got to do is talk to the right real estate agent to price your home competitively and make your home the most attractive. Real quick, if you are thinking of selling during the winter, right, reach out to us. You can email us, text us, call us. My information will be somewhere here on screen, right? You need the right real estate agent to navigate this difficult time in selling. It's only difficult if you don't have the right tools, right? And that's exactly what I want to give to you. Secondly, when you sell during the winter, it proves that your house is built well. Now, we know when it starts to rain and things start to freeze and it starts to snow, you will see every flaw in the house, right? If the heat goes out, you will know it really quickly, especially here in Maryland, right? If there's freezing rain and your roof starts to leak, you'll know very quickly. So this proves your house is well built. People always get a concern when they're under contract. I need to see it at night, and I need to see it in the rain, and I need to see how it holds up in bad weather conditions. You can prove that pretty easily in the winter. Hey, we've been under contract for 30 days. It snowed, it's rained, there's been heavy wind, and my house is held up. That's very reassuring to a buyer. Now they're not as concerned if the house is built well or are they going to have to rebuild it from the ground up the second things get a little cold. So you can prove right there in real time that your house is well built, ready for somebody to move in. Lastly, it shows that you want to sell, right? This proves that you actually are motivated yourself. Now, we think of motivation as desperation, right? And they're completely different things. You're not desperate to sell, you're just motivated. You actually want to sell, which attracts more buyers. The last thing a buyer wants is to spend their time putting an offer and negotiating with a seller that doesn't actually want to sell their house. It's just a waste of time. When you're listed during the holidays, you're showing people that you actually want to sell your house. It's just like those FISBOs that come up in their regular 3-bed, 2-bath, and they're up for $1 million. Well, your first thought is, they don't want to sell. There's nothing in the area that says they should get $1 million. They're just seeing if they can, right? They're wasting your time, right? Buying a house is a very emotional process, and you want to appeal to your buyer's emotions. So if you show them that you're serious, they're going to be a lot more serious when negotiating with you. Real quick, if you've made it this far in the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let's get this to the #1 Maryland YouTube channel in the world. Really appreciate your support. Now, let's talk about buying, right? Of course, we're going to start with the cons, then we're going to go to some of the pros. The first and most obvious con of buying during the winter is it's cold. When you're buying a house, you actually, yes, have to go outside and walk up to these houses, right? Especially if you're looking in higher price points where the driveway might be longer or something like that. It's going to be cold, right? It gets cold in Maryland. Now, not freezingly and painfully cold, but it does get a little chilly. And that turns some people off, especially older communities and people with health challenges. They don't want to be out in the cold, right? It causes them aches and pains, and it's a little tough, right? So that's the #1 con to buying in the wintertime, right? There may be some wind, there may be some rain, there may be some snow outside, right? You might have to kick off your boots and then take them off when you get inside and put them on when you go back out, right? It can be a bit more work when you're buying during the wintertime, and you just got to deal with that cold. Look, we can't change the weather here in Maryland. It's just the reality of it. But if you need to buy during the winter, that's something to keep in mind. Secondly, you have to plan around the holiday festivities. Like we said, when you're selling, you still want to spend the holidays with your family. You want to spend it with your friends, right? You might have travel plans, and you have to spend time looking for a house, right? That's just the reality of it. It can be a little bit more work. It can take a little bit more planning, right? Especially if you have small kids or something like that, and you got to bundle them up and wrap them in 7 scarves to keep them warm, right? That takes a little bit more work. And that's truly a con that you have to consider when you're thinking of buying in the wintertime, right? Lastly, there's just not as many options. Again, we talked about with the sellers, really only the most motivated and serious are going to be listed during that time. So you're not going to have as many people that just, want to change the scenery. You're going to have people that probably need to sell, right? They probably have some strong motivation to really get their house sold and relocate wherever else they're going. So you're not going to have as many options. However, on the flip side, you're going to have actually motivated sellers that want to close. You're not going to have the people that list their house just to waste your time and act as though they don't really want to sell it. And they come with these unreasonable negotiation skills, and they have a terrible agent that's not really guiding them in the process at all. And then it just ends up a mess. You're frustrated, your agent's frustrated, and then you don't even get a house at the end of it, right? That really doesn't happen when you're selling during the winter. These are motivated people, right? Now, don't confuse motivation with desperation. This does not mean that they're going to give their house away. However, you're more likely to actually have a serious discussion about negotiations and come to a win-win situation where everybody is happy and actually close on the house you want. Right? Secondly, just like when you're selling, you see all of the issues in the house pretty quickly. If you walk into a house that doesn't have heat, you're gonna know it right away. If you walk into a house with leaky pipes, or the roof isn't built quite well enough, or the deck leaks or anything like that, you're gonna notice it right away in the wintertime. You can see that very clearly when you're out and about. So you don't have to worry, oh, well, it's spring and it's great weather. So does this house actually hold up when the weather is not as great? You know that it's built well. You know this is a quality house that you're getting. Or you know this isn't a quality house, and then we leave and go see the next one. Next, you can see the infrastructure of the neighborhood. Now, this is important, right? If it snowed 2 weeks ago and we go to see a house and they still have snow in the middle of their street, well, you know that the snow plows aren't really active there. You know that their infrastructure isn't that great, right? You know that their emergency services probably aren't that responsive there. You can see the infrastructure of the neighborhood. If you go to a neighborhood and it's cold, so now all the stores are closed and everything's shut down, well, that's probably not a place you want to be if that's not what you're looking for, right? So you can see the quality of the neighborhood based on how they handle the weather situation, based on how they handle snow and freezing rain. Now, if you go to see a house and it just snowed last night and now all the driveways are shoveled and all the roads are cleared completely and they have salt on them, well, that's a great neighborhood with great infrastructure that has great community services. That's something you want to consider, right? Remember, you're not just buying the house, you're buying the area around it, you're buying the experiences around it. So you have to consider that when you're going to see, especially in the wintertime, right? It's easy to present a neighborhood in its best light when it's a nice 72 degrees with a cool breeze versus when it's below 20 degrees and it just snowed and we're looking for freezing rain the next day. That shows a lot different, but it shows how the infrastructure and the house will hold up. Lastly, you can show that you're motivated to close as well. We know the spring brings a lot more competition, brings a lot more buyers. You end up in a bidding war, the price goes up and up, and you end up losing out on houses that you want. There's a lot less buyers out there. Yes, there's a lot less houses, but a lot less competition for you, and you're showing that you're motivated to close. You're not wasting the seller's time. You're not just looking at their house because you like houses. You're looking because you actually want to close on a house and relocate to the area. And so that makes sellers feel a lot better and a lot more apt to working with you and actually coming to a win-win situation, right? We're not getting tire kicker sellers. You're not a tire kicker buyer. You're not competing against tire kicker buyers. You are actually motivated to close, not desperate, but motivated. And that's important when we're talking to sellers. We want to show that we're qualified, motivated, and ready to get this show on the road. That is the pros and the cons of selling and buying during the winter. Did I miss any? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for sticking through. If you made it to this point in the video, like, subscribe, check out some other videos where we go against all other topics. We talk about everything Maryland, living here, chilling here, working here, eating here, you name it. We're going to discuss it here at this channel. Really appreciate your support. And as always, have a fantastic day.